Nas, who I consider quite successful with the branding of Sludge Underground, which has become a huge brand, something that's not just KZN, but South Africa is really proud of. Nas, maybe you could weigh in here a little bit in terms of, branding, whatever it is that you're involved in the music industry. Yours is a podcast, but you've also, got your band. What are some of the key things for you in terms of branding or niching down?
Of just knowing who you are as a brand, like what the whole aim is, and just stating that clearly, just for people to know exactly what's going on. You want to sort of have like a focus and not necessarily, have this understanding that it's not going to be for everyone, and that's okay. And that the people that do come through are the people that you're making the stuff for. So that also plays into it being very consistent as well. Consistency is a very big one, because it's sort of like you might look at numbers, for example, and maybe get discouraged if the numbers are low, but it's about just focusing on those people actually coming through to a point that they know what to expect from you every time they come back. So you don't want to put something out today and then like for a particular audience, and then the next time they come back be talking about something completely different, because then you might have lost them. So I think overall, it's as Mandy said, just being focused on a particular sort of like niche or whatever it is that you focused on. Try not to flip flop all over the place and just remain consistent in that. And yeah, in through that consistency, hopefully things start growing and so on. And I think more importantly, just do it for. I wouldn't say do it for yourself, but always remember why you're doing it as sort of like an anchor for you. If you know that you love creating content or you love doing podcasts or whatever the case is, if that's why you started it, you shouldn't be deterred by maybe numbers or reach or anything. That should always be sort of your anchor point to sort of keep you going, because that's why you essentially started doing that. And then, yeah, with things like social media, I would say it's also just a matter of consistency and maybe just paying attention to the algorithm as well. Taking on, it's something that we spoke about with brands earlier this week as well, is that just looking at sort of the elements. What are sort of the what is the algorithm sort of looking for? What are the things that the algorithm is pushing at that moment? And that's not saying that you should necessarily sacrifice your creativity or stick to what the algorithm is requesting, but it's more just like incorporating some of those elements into a formula that you already have going, so as to ensure that the algorithm also maybe then considers some of the stuff that you're making and then gets it out to a wider or broader audience. So yeah, I think those would be sort of like the key elements on my end.